Tale to the Tree, I actually created the idea of it about 2 or 3 years ago, and then I sat on it, didn't do anything, really gave it some consideration. I had lots of different ideas, and then Hogmanay 2025 came along, and something I've been doing for the last 2 years, this was my 3rd year on Hogmanay just past, was that I've been running around Strathclyde Loch on Hogmanay and at midnight so that I could see in the bells as I meant to continue. That was my thinking. Actually, you can see I've had the sun today. I would be seeing in the bells as I meant to continue. So I would start running at 1:45 and then I'd be running when the bells struck. I'd watch the fireworks. I'd be all on my own, at peace, very happy. That's how I saw in the bells for 2 years. And then on the 3rd year, I thought, do you know what, maybe somebody would like to join me. So I put it to Facebook. I started an event for it and put it out there and said, does anyone want to see in the new year by doing this and seeing the bells? And one thing that I've found since when I say I got sober, I always say I got sober. When people say they get sober, I get sober from everything. I got sober from life. All of the habits that I felt were holding me back, I quit them all and decided to live my life differently for the next. I lived 41 years. I wanted to live the next 41, the opposite of the first 41. 47 now, by the way. I'll tell you that story another day. But yeah, one thing that I do like, one thing I do enjoy is a little sweetie, like a little sweet sweetie. That's like my vice. It's delicious. Just the odd one. Just the odd one, just for a treat. Just fantastic. Love it. But I put it out to Facebook and lo and behold, somebody answered the call. A guy called Dave Lind from Kirkconnell. It's always a Dave, isn't it? But yeah, Dave showed up. Hogmanay, said he fancied doing it. And I made it a 10k this time. Normally I would just run the loch, which is about 6. But I made it a 10k and it was the midnight Hogmanay 10k. Dave came along, we saw in the bells, we chatted. It was great and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this again. So I did another one. And we're now coming into June, but at the end of May. I've done one every month. I've actually done a bonus one to see Aaron away at the RAF. We've excuse me. We've now got a 5 AM 5k. We've got a runner's choice where you do 5, 10, 16 or 22. We've got a forest finisher, which we just did yesterday, which is 7.5 with a beautiful finisher. And then the midnight 10k. I've also added for next month a midnight half marathon, of which we have a sponsor for, which I will announce on Tuesday, which is great. And yeah, it's now growing. Tell to the tree. Men, you can come to us with your problems and we'll absorb them because we're men. However, when we have problems, when men have problems, well, we might as well tell it to a tree. That's where it comes from. And yeah, it's growing. It's now something that is really beginning to be what I always wanted it to be, what it was always meant to be, which is a mental strength initiative, a men's mental strength initiative, where we focus on the things that we do well. We focus on action, accomplishment, achievement. If there's one thing I've known and one thing I've learned, is that when we are not out there actively pursuing some sort of accomplishment or achievement, that's when our mental health starts to drag us down. The more we focus on action, achievement, accomplishment, getting out there and living life, a fulfilled life, giving it our all. I call it being the man who gets things done. Once you're the guy who's getting things done, and you know that you're the guy who's getting things done, your self-esteem gets a boost, your confidence rises, you start engaging with the world differently, and the world responds to you in kind. It pays you back. That's when you're the man who's getting things done. And it's a wonderful thing. Life has the potential to be wonderful, and we live in an era, a bit of a mental health crisis at the moment, which I believe the answer to that is refocusing, re-energizing our minds on mental strength, going back to the way of whatever happened to be all you can be the best that you can be all that you can be. And every time you hear about men and young boys in the media just now and whatnot, it's always negative. And men have been encouraged for about the last 30 years to talk about their feelings and be more emotional. And that's not working. It's not working because men listened and we did start to talk more about our feelings and talk more about emotions. And we discovered again, tell it to the tree, might as well tell it to the tree. Nobody's really listening. and nobody really cares that much. That's just the reality. I'm not complaining. It's just the reality, and the sooner we absorb that and accept that, we can get on with taking action, focusing, filling our heads with mental strength. Fill it so much with mental strength and positivity that the negativity's got nowhere to go. In fact, even better yet, the negativity gets farted out because you're so full of positivity and strength. I genuinely think the answer to our mental health problems is more action, more accomplishment, more achievement, being the guy who's getting things done. And I know that sounds very simplistic, but take a simple idea and take it very, very seriously. We're actually doing it. Guys are showing up. Guys are training. Guys are talking, but we're talking whilst doing something good, and we're talking out strength, positivity, the things we can do in our lives to make them better. That's what we're talking about. We're not focusing on problems or dramas. If there is a problem, then you'll be damn certain that we'll find a solution for it. But here we are. That was the beginning. It's grown like a tree. Tell it to the tree. This is the tree, and the men that grow from it are all the branches, and we go out there and become the tree and then help other men in our own worlds. That's what I believe. We save ourselves, we change ourselves, we become better men, and then we help other men to become better men. It's the multiplying effect, and it's no more reason. It's probably the greatest purpose one can have, is improving ourselves to help us improve others. And I think we need a bit of that. So welcome to Tell It to the Tree. That's the beginning. That's how it started. I could tell you more about me, but that's another video. But yeah, I've done plenty. I've been in the sort of field of men's mental health now, or men's mental strength as I call it, for the last 5 years, just a little bit more, and it's been eye-opening, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself, but everything I learn about myself, I try to pass it on. I try to share it. Excuse me. I'm going to have my last sweetie before I pack that in. Delicious. Yeah, I'll tell you more about my story another day, and a little bit more about other things going on with Tell It to the Tree.